Recording. I'm open.
I'm
open.
All right, so let's dump about, I guess, anything other than Frisbee. What else is going on?
Frisbee.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, these days it's really Frisbee. It's kind of taken over the playoffs and all these eps we got lined up. We got a lot on our plates here.
I know,
but I'm excited. We are going to be busy. Are we stoked for the live stream this weekend?
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
Very excited for the live stream.
Yeah,
I'm still figuring out what beer I want to buy for it.
Everybody listening or watching, tune into our live stream Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube.
Maybe we should all drink the same thing and like pretend that we're sponsored by them.
Oh
my God, if we could find hams, that'd be insane.
And then we'll send them an invoice.
Find hams. I've got hams in my fridge right now. Is hams the drink? Because we could do that.
It could be. I got to go find some, but
do they have hams? Like, I saw it in the grocery store and I was like, whoa. Because it's like sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. It feels like pretty random.
I don't see it in my usual store, but there's like a Total Wine. I could go look there.
Yeah, they're infrequent around here, but I could probably find it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited for Sasha to be on because he's like Jordan's boy. He's like a BYU guy, so he knows all those guys.
Everything he knows.
Yeah, I think he's the perfect. If anyone could hop in, I think he's a great candidate. Are we gonna edit this part out or something? Should we say like Sasha Vogel's gonna be on the stream?
Oh yeah, we could announce that.
We kind of just talking about.
Yeah, that's happening.
We gotta get Sasha to tweet about it too. Get his fans on it.
Yeah, Sasha's much bigger than we are.
Does he have a lot more followers than us?
Twitter, I think so.
Probably. He's been around.
I've thought that about a lot of people who did not actually have more followers than us, but he has a lot more. He's got 2,000.
He does.
He's so cool.
He is a cool guy. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Welcome.
How you guys doing?
Amazing. Good. How are you?
Good.
Well, welcome to the pod, the most improved player, Ringer the AUDL.
It's official.
How does it feel?
I appreciate it. Kind of good. It's been a great season. Looking to make that season longer though.
Right on. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, James. I'm sure you're really busy, but it's awesome to have you. And maybe we go around and, well, I guess apparently you've been listening to the podcast, so maybe we don't need to do introductions. But I'll go ahead and start. I'm Andrew, and I'm open. I'm
Ryan, and I'm so open right now.
I'm Joe, and I'm pretty open.
And I'm Sam, and I'm open. Give it to us.
I'm James, and I'm always open.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
There we go.
Amazing.
All right, where do we want to start, guys? I mean, we got a lot of questions for you, James. We're gonna put you on the hot seat a little bit, but
yeah,
not really.
Well, he's a hot bird, so he belongs on the hot seat. I guess we'll start how we usually start with guests and just sort of give you the floor to like tell us your ultimate background, sort of how you wound up where you are.
Yeah, so I first learned about Ultimate in high school in gym class. They just taught it to us for like a couple weeks. I was like, it's kind of cool. So when I was applying to colleges, I kind of looked to see if the school that I was applying to had club teams. And the school I did, Philadelphia University, happened to have a club team. So we initially joined to stay in shape for tennis. I was on a partial tennis scholarship. So I did that for all 4 years, and then just slowly played more and more, fell in love with it, and then just stuck with it out of college. And in 2018, when I graduated, I tried out for the Phoenix for the first time and made it. And then just been slowly working my way from D2 all the way up to D1, and then now O-line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What has that been like, being on the O-line for the first time in your career?
Oh, it's been fun. There's a lot of chemistry there. So Greg Martin is a trainer. So I actually drive out to his gym 5 days a week. So there's a lot of talking that happens there between the two of us. So as you could probably tell when we get on the field together, and then it's been fun. I mean, like Greg used to play on D-line with me, so we've been working together for a while, and then just finally getting to play with some of the other guys like Mott all the time.
What do you think contributed the most to just your improvement from last season to this season in like stats and just in general ability?
I think the big one was the switch, because I did play the second half of the season. I played a decent amount of O. So you kind of saw there's a little bit of a bump there in my stats, started scoring more and getting assists. So I was confident this year coming in that I would have a pretty good season. And Roger, our head coach, when we first announced him as a coach, he had a call with me and he was like, yeah, like, I want you to play O this year. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah. And he was like, you could be a superstar. So he had that trust in me and laid out my ground rules as an O-line player and just went from there.
That's awesome, man. I guess, oh, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to ask if you ever missed D-line because you still led the team in blocks this year.
I do miss it a little bit. Because I was also the puller. So I still think that's an undervalued aspect of defense.
Yeah, for sure. I guess something I was kind of wondering off of that, you know, we look at your stat page, and it, you know, obviously looks like you've made this huge jump, but really a lot of it is like you're getting a lot of O-line looks and you kind of have more opportunities to get some of those like counting stats. But you know, it's just been 1 year. Obviously not too much could have possibly changed. What do you think there needs to be to maybe give D-line guys more recognition, or like, well, how can we expand on some stats? What would you, maybe with your experience on the D-line, what would you like to see change to maybe give D-line guys more recognition?
It's hard because, like, I mean, the next stat is going to have to be like pressures or something, or like how often your matchup is thrown to.
Right.
Because like for me, because I came into the league, and since I'm 6'5", I immediately came in having to guard players like Ben Yacht. So like initially, like on the turn when we got it back, I would just kind of chill, just hang out, not let him try to make plays if I could, kind of thing, and then slowly drifted. So like it's probably going to have to be pressures or how few times your person has gotten looked off or not thrown to.
Yeah, it's tough too because like you can play the best defense and it's hard to tell because they didn't throw it to your guy, and like kind of the outcome isn't really, it's hard to measure sometimes. So yeah, I definitely think it could be something they look more into, but it's cool to see you also kind of ball out on the O-line this year. You've been one of the more fun players for me to watch, at least just because I can just see like when you get it, sometimes you'll dish it and sometimes you'll bust deep, and like it looks like you cause a lot of problems for your defenders. So it's been fun to watch you play this year, man, for sure.
Thank you.
Do we want to go into another question? We have kind of a fun one. If you could have coffee with anyone in the AUDL, who would it be and why?
Ooh. I'm gonna say Alex Atkins.
Okay.
He's a Philly boy that went to college out in Colorado, so trying to get him to come back to Philly and ball out here with us again.
A recruiting copy.
He is a silly boy. Sam had the pleasure to in-game interview him when we went to the Aviator Colorado Summit game. So that was great. So he's technically a friend of the pod too.
Yeah, we played club together in 2017 on Citywide Special.
Oh wow!
So yeah.
Could you tell at that point, playing with him, that he was going to be just a total baller?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess he was probably what, 16?
He would have been young, yeah.
Point? Yeah, because that was before he went to college, and he was on our O line, so.
That's crazy. Well, I guess or go ahead, Joe. You go ahead. I've been cutting you off, Joe. I gotta
what the hell?
stay in my lane.
I wanted to know, like, for you personally, but also for the team, what this playoff berth means, and just kind of like what your guys' mindset is now in the playoffs for you for the first time in your career, and for Philly the first time in like almost a decade.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like a long time coming. A lot of us listen to all the other podcasts or something, see the write-ups, and everyone's always writing us off, but like we knew we were pretty young and slowly building up, and just a couple players here or there, like new coaching, like different eyes, and you see what we did. I mean, yeah, we're 6-6, but that could have easily been 10-2 with all those 1 point and 2 point losses.
Yeah, I mean, both those Breeze games, I mean, came down to the wire.
Yeah, especially that home game. I mean, you guys were an inch away from winning that game, so I'm sure you guys are kind of licking your chops coming in again. We can get into the matchup later. I don't know if we want to go into other questions, but I don't know if anyone has anything else they want to bring up, because I'm also dying to talk more about the upcoming game.
Let's get into the game later, but I know you listen to our episodes. I'm sure you listened to the awards episode. What was your favorite fun award? And then after that, I got a follow-up question on that.
I think the favorite fun was probably like best looking.
Do you agree with our pick?
Oh, I think that's a good pick. I would think it was funny to have Kioi in there.
I knew I had to throw in just like something else, a different kind of, maybe we had a lot of young dudes. I feel like we had to give the league veterans kind of a nod. So I love to see how I was happy to see how stoked he was that we picked him. He was like tweeting about it. Of
course.
So
and then follow up to that, on our serious awards, was there anything that you disagreed with or thought we totally blanked on, or just, I mean, to be honest, we're kind of idiots and we're not totally in touch with AUDL. So honestly, we have people on here like you just to like learn more about, like, maybe we're just completely wrong about this or that. So enlighten us if you could.
No, I think you guys did pretty good. It's always it's always good to have people who aren't necessarily as involved in the league to give their opinions, because you may see the sport differently. No, I especially like the most improved conversation.
Yeah, how's it going?
Good pick. Yeah.
I was wondering, so are you playing with Phantom in club this year?
Yep.
And so Charlie Hops coaches Phantom, right?
Yeah, he's one of our assistant coaches.
So I wanted to bring up a tweet that I saw yesterday that Cam Brock pointed out, because it was part of Lepler's like weekly thing, and it was apparently he asked Hop a lot of questions about the Phoenix, and then they pulled out this quote, and then for anyone listening, the quote is, "There's a lot of trusting their athletes, trusting their throwers, making big plays on both sides of the disc, really crowd friendly kind of ultimate," which sort of sounds like a compliment, but also, as Cam pointed out, low key kind of sounds like shade. So I wanted to ask how you took this comment.
Well, I saw Cameron's tweet, and I was like, I almost responded, because he said throw a lot of 50-50s. But I mean, at this point, we're throwing it up to Greg. I don't think you can call it a 50-50. It's probably more like 80-20 at this point. Well, I mean, Charlie knows all of us very well, so like I didn't take it as a slight. I mean, and that's just how we've been. I mean, it's just the style of offense we have. We have a 5'10" Greg Martin that can sky people my size on the regular. You've got me that teams are terrified of deep, but then can still throw hucks. You got Jordan Ryan, who's throwing bombs left and right, and occasionally will go downfield because he's also like 6'2", 6'3". And of course, Sean Mott. I always mess with Sean Mott at practice and stuff, and talk about how he's like kind of taking a back seat this year. But that's just more of like a statement to everyone else around him that he doesn't have to be like the guy, and he just kind of chills, but will still get his like 5 assists a game.
For sure.
Right on.
Yeah. I guess we're getting close to moving on to the game, but I'll ask a couple questions and if anyone else has some stuff. So all of us here, Frisbee's kind of really big in our life. It's kind of our biggest hobby. But like outside of Frisbee, what is James Pollard doing? What are you getting up to on the weekends when you're not playing a game?
Not much, because I'm always doing stuff. But usually probably on the golf course.
Oh, what's your
Okay.
handicap?
Like 9.5.
Jesus. It's crazy to me how like AUDL players just always are just way better than me at everything that I like. Like I was watching an interview with Marquez, and it's like he has like a 9 handicap, and I'm like, how is he so good at everything?
Yeah, I'm trying to get on the course with him at some point.
Have you met him? I mean, you've played against him, but have you like hung out with him at all? Like, what's he like outside of the AUDL?
A little bit, not really. I guess the only time I really hung out with him was at the first time the Phoenix scrimmage at the Eagles halftime show.
Okay.
Because we ended up playing Dallas, but that was Yacht's first year MVP. So Yacht, Marquez, Bo Kittredge all came down and played in that. And Marquez ended up being on my line. We just did 2 lines of 7 and just rotated because it's like 3 points, then you're done.
Yeah.
That's the most. But no, he's pretty chill. It's kind of fun to go to like a club tournament or a fun tournament, see people walk up to him, have to take pictures or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that goes perfectly into my question. Your Twitter profile, which you just alluded to, playing in the NFL game, you're laying out on the link over there. How was how was it playing in an NFL stadium in a crowd like that?
Oh, that one was crazy because that was the Eagles Cowboys game. So that was really crowded. I got booed by Philly fans, so
wow.
for me.
It just means you're an honorary Philadelphia athlete at that point.
Yeah, because I actually dropped that pass in that picture.
No way. Classic.
That's ballsy to have that as your profile. I love it.
Classic.
Well, I told our guys, I was like, yo, there's 4 shows, so obviously you go like you force backhand, you don't really mark, you let them get like a 20-yard gainer so they can throw the massive backhand hook. And I was like, guys, if we throw it short of the goal line, throw the pass a little bit too far, so we have to like lay out or something. And then my teammate didn't do it, so I kind of like slowed up a little bit and then just gratuitously laid out. So I ended up dropping it.
That's
oh
funny.
man, that's funny. I feel like it's almost a requirement that you had to have dropped the disc to make it a profile picture, because I feel like I hear that all the time. But that's cool.
It makes the best pictures.
It does. Right on.
I actually was wondering about how you guys felt after the second loss to the Breeze, with like Montreal, Boston, and Toronto all kind of vying for that last playoff spot, and like kind of what you guys did either like internally as a group or like how your mindset changed to make sure that last playoff spot went to you guys.
Yeah, I mean that second DC loss was brutal. We were actually kind of high because like I was upset because I ended up starting cramping. It was really hot and really humid that day.
I was actually there at that game.
That turf field is one of the hottest turf fields I've played on. So it was, you know how brutal it was down there. So I went out with like 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter, and then I'm over there. And then like after that point, G-Mark comes over and was cramping and was on the sideline for a couple minutes. No, we really felt that we had it. I think Lepler, he reached out to me after and asked how I felt. I was like pretty like tight, like on edge the whole time, but like still in control. But like I never felt comfortable until the start of the 4th quarter when we went up 2, because we got that hold at the end of the 3rd to go up 1. And then we started on O and we got that hold, so we're up 2. And that's when I was like, all right, we got this. So afterward, it was like, brutal, but we were like, all right, take care of business the next week. We'll be fine. And that's what we did. We knew we needed to go up there, beat Toronto. And because if we lose that, then having to beat New York and Ottawa, or New York or Ottawa, would have been tough to finish the season. So it was like, all right, we can take care of Toronto, and then now we can smooth sail to the playoffs we're already in. We can work on some stuff and get ready for DC round 3.
Yeah. All right. Any more questions, or should we move on to some playoff preview?
I'm ready to talk
Let's
some
get into the
probably
game.
time.
talk
Let's
some
get into the
flat
game.
ball.
Talk some flat ball. Talk some serious flat ball.
Oh yeah,
Alrighty.
dying.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the offs. Let's go.
The Yoffs, baby. Yeah, I decided that we're gonna refer to them as the Yoffs. So get used to
Great
that.
call.
So yeah, welcome 2022 Yoffs week 1. Let's get into it. So we're gonna start by talking about your matchup with the Breeze, and since our we came up with our score predictions and they're on the slide, so we're gonna just go ahead and read, or I guess I'll read them all off for listeners. But Ryan has the Breeze winning 21-20. Andrew and Joe have the Breeze winning 23-22, and then I have the Hotbirds winning 24-22. I assume your prediction would be something more like mine. So if you feel like giving a score prediction, go right ahead. But if not, I understand.
I think it's gonna be. I'm gonna say 25-22 Hotbirds.
Love that.
All right.
Got to bet on yourself. Yeah, I think
yeah.
should we each go? Ryan, I think you can start. Let's maybe give some rationale for the scores.
Rationale is just, I think it's gonna be playoffs. I think, D is gonna, people are gonna leave it more just more out on the field. So I think the score will be lower. Then again, I've never played an AUDL playoff game, so I can't, say that 100%. And the last 2 games have been 1-point games, so I think it's gonna be close. So I'm just going off history, going off that, and I was like 21-20. I hope you guys prove me wrong. I would love to see the Hotbirds win. I heard it's Hotbird summer, so love to be wrong this weekend. But yeah, that's how I got to 21-20.
All right, I can talk about mine. I did my research today.
Okay.
I went back and looked at all of the first round upsets in AUDL playoff history, as I was texting you guys about. So there have been 5 in the 10-year history of the AUDL, but they've been in the last 5 playoffs, so it's been 1 per year. And 2 of the 5 were DC in 2018 and 2021, and both of those were DC losing to a team that they beat twice in the regular season. So I am trusting on that pattern to continue. And also I just think it's finally time for the Phoenix to like break through that 1-point barrier that they've hit twice now.
Yeah,
that's how I got that. And then
actually,
sorry, I wanted to say I made it not a 1-point game because I was nervous about like doing a 1-point game the other way, because then I was worried it would like flip. So I was like, they got to win by a couple.
I like that. I like that you changed it up. I think so I went with the Breeze by 1, and it just, that's kind of been the outcome of these games. I mean, these are such evenly matched teams, and I think Phoenix, I mean, y'all basically had that game, that Breeze home game this year. I mean, that was as close of a game as it could get, honestly. I mean, inches. I think it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, but I just think the Breeze maybe weren't even like, I saw them make a couple mistakes in that game, and I feel like maybe they'll kind of tighten it up in the playoffs and maybe just squeak it out by 1. But honestly, like it's 1 point, because I think it could go either way. Truly, I think when you have to pick a score and you do it by 1, I mean, it's basically a toss up. I can't pick a tie, but yeah.
Yeah. My reasoning was that I think both of the offenses have like the same ability to put up points if they're playing well. And so I didn't really feel comfortable saying like, oh, the Breeze's offense like is for sure gonna be the better team, or like, I think Philly is gonna come out and just be the better offense, because I think both teams have like really hot games and really low games as well. For me, what kind of determined it was like, I think it's the Breeze's D line, or their D line offense, like their how likely they are to come out and score a break. And so like even in the last game where like honestly I think you guys outplayed the Breeze in like almost every category, like the Breeze's D-line conversion was still like 88%. And so that's kind of what tipped the scales for me a little bit. But I mean, I picked a 1-point game because every single one of these games has been close, and I don't know, I don't really feel too confident in either direction, but that's I don't know, I got Breeze by 1.
I will say the DraftKings lines -2.5. Like I like to bet on these games, and I will be betting Phoenix +2.5 because I think that line is very tasty.
Yeah, we're all on that side of it. I will say that Breeze's D-line offense has to watch out for James Pollard, the leader in blocks.
Yeah.
Well, I will say one thing about their D-line offense. They pull the trigger very quickly on calling timeouts very early. So most of the time they're getting their breaks, it's actually their O-line coming in after we turn it.
Oh, that's a good point. That's an excellent point.
They basically like they'll get like 1 or 2 throws off, and if it's not up, Daryl's calling that timeout.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll actually be usually they're out of timeouts, especially later in the game, like halfway through the third quarter sometime. They might not even have one for the fourth quarter. Just because like if they get that turn, Daryl knows that their O-line can punch it in, so they're usually going out there. And that's actually, and then the opposite for us, that's been one of our strongest suits this year is if a team is called a timeout, our D-line, O-line, our D-line that ends up going in on the O point has actually gotten the hold at least once in almost every game, except I believe the DC games. That has not happened yet for us.
Wow. So that honestly, that sounds like it could be the difference. And if it sounds like it's your strong suit so far this season, then that'll be something that's interesting to watch, is how y'all keep those holds going. I guess I'm just looking at these rosters I got in front of me. Is there a particular matchup that you're preparing for in this game?
No, just the usual. I mean, AJ, Del Rico, Musa. I mean, they move people around on me, just depending on what's happening.
Yeah, that's cool. I can't imagine being mad. To me, like growing up in the DC area and playing a little Frisbee, like Del Rico is like the guy. So that's pretty cool that you're just kind of casually like, oh yeah, then he might be on me, he might not, but it's cool to hear.
If AJ was ever guarding me in any Frisbee, I would just never touch the disc. Like never.
Unless your name is James Pollard.
I can't be too worried about who's guarding me, because I mean, I don't think anyone on their team can jump with me or really run fast enough with me if I do get even with them and take off for 40 yards. So it's really just trying to work through our systems to see what I can get.
Yeah, for sure.
I was telling our assistant coach, Tom Glass, after practice on Wednesday, I was like, if I can get 4 or 5 goals, I think we can blow them out, because that means I'm probably scoring deep on them, which is the exact opposite of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can get around 4 or 5, I would expect Phoenix to be in that win column for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I alluded earlier to how it looked like just this season in general, you looked difficult to guard. But I think I'm really referring to that DC game. You did look like a handful against them, and if they struggle to contain you, I mean that definitely will be a difference maker. But it's cool to hear it from the horse's mouth as well. But yeah.
James, who on this Phoenix roster do you think is like underrated or is going to make a huge impact in this game, but nobody, especially us, we're just like not talking about them?
Well, I mean, two immediately stick out, and that would be Paul Owens and Gavin, number 18 or number 19. Gavin is 18. He couldn't even like try out for our first tryout because he hadn't turned 18 yet, and he's been quietly getting up handler blocks in the reset space all the time. And then Paul's one of the smartest defensive players I've seen. You may see him out there and it may look like he's just getting beat, but if you watch him for a whole game, he's just reading what his matchup's doing. And then usually by the third quarter or fourth quarter, he's probably getting a hand block or a layout D like he did on Jack Williams against New York.
Oh yeah, that was just nasty.
He's just studying the entire time. And then last one, Eric Whitmer, number 13. He's our workhorse. He's just out there and just run for days on their small squirrely handler, whoever it is.
Yeah.
And just every point.
Probably a small squirrely, potentially Zach or Gus Norbaum. I can think off the top of my head, but yeah, cool. Well, that's cool that you shouted those guys out. We'll definitely be watching. Does anyone else have anything else in this game? Do we cover all the bases? Like, what are we missing here?
Well, Joe, you're going to be there.
I will be there. So, look out for me on that sideline. I'll be probably in a Breeze hat. I'm sorry.
That's tough.
Maybe we'll have to give you a HOTBIRD summer shirt after we get the win.
If you want a jersey swap, I'll be wearing a Ringer the I'm Open shirt. If you want.
We won't be able to jersey swap because he'll need that jersey for the next game.
Yeah.
I actually did have one more question. With you talking about if you think you can put up 5, Philly will be in a good position. I was kind of curious about, like, for you personally, what the difference was between the first and the second game, going from I think it was like 6 goals to 2 in the second one. If that was a personal thing or if that was just the Philly offense was running well, and it didn't have to hit you in the second game.
Really, I mean, the biggest thing was AJ had a bad game that first time. I mean, I'm faster than him, but I'm not like 20, 30 yards faster than him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was his worst game all season, and he said it. Like, so that was really the big thing. And yeah, so we knew they were running brackets or whatever. So that second game, they were really forcing me under, and we were trying some things. So that was really the big thing. Was they had a bad game that first time, and then the second one they were more locked in of trying to keep me under.
Cool.
Right.
All right. Should we move on to the next game?
Yeah, James, do you have any final thoughts on the big matchup before we move on to the other ones?
No, I'm just excited for it.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
All right. I have to head out, but I just want to say I've got the Alley Cats beating the Wind Chill. Cam Brock, you guys are gonna win this game. Let's go, Cats. But besides that, James, it was an honor to have you on the pod. Wish you luck this week. Hopefully, I'm going to be at championship weekend, so hopefully I get to watch you play there. Go Birds, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Well, I'll be at championship weekend either way. Hopefully, you'll be there playing. But
yeah, I will be there for only Friday because I gotta head home on Saturday. But I will say hi to you for sure, and yeah, let's get a beer or something. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
See you guys
later.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. So Ryan announced his pick. He's got Alley Cats 21-20. And then I've got Wind Chill taking it 23-21. Sorry, Cam. Alu has Alley Cats winning 23-22. Sorry again, Cam. And Joe has Wind Chill winning 20-18. Sorry again,
Yeah.
Cam.
We say
James, do you want
I
to
say we say sorry, Cam, for my pick because I'm horrendously wrong quite often. So,
To be clear, I made my pick after I knew Alu's pick, so don't be as mad at me.
Yeah, James, do you want to disappoint Cam with us, or do you see them pulling it off?
Unfortunately, I'm going to disappoint Cam with you.
He's taking notes, James. He's taking notes.
Let's say still 22-17.
Wow.
Okay.
So you think okay, 17. Yeah, I mean, what makes you say by like more of a margin than any of us have?
I think looking at the other two scores, yeah, got better, but like playoff, I think Winchell are going to step up a little bit, especially playing at home. I think that's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're really not too far off. I mean, when I was making my pick, I was like, okay, well, let me look at like some of these games here. And
Frozen.
Oh
no, is my internet crapping on me again?
yeah, we didn't hear
Start
your
your
last sentence.
Start your point over.
Oh, rip. Okay, yeah, I was just saying, I was looking at some of the past scores, and barring the Detroit games, it looks like Indy's only put up 22. They put up 23 against Chicago, which is probably their highest against a team that I would consider being like really good. So I wanted to go out there and like give some flashy, like, Alley Cats 24, Winchell 21, but I just didn't think there's any way that's possible. And honestly, like, I think it's possible. I want to pick the Cats because I got this hat in the mail. We're an Alley Cats pod, so I'm picking the Cats. But if they do win, it's going to be something. They're going to win by 1, and it's going to be like 23-22 or something, which is honestly pretty high scoring, I guess, all things considered. But they're going to squeak by 1 point if they pull this thing off.
Well, I feel like if the Alley Cats win, like you say, it's going to be close. It's probably going to be a higher scoring game.
That's what I figure.
Yeah.
And they're going
to. If it's low scoring, the Winchell defense, that means Winchell's defense is crushing it.
Yeah. And they were putting up some shots in that last game of the regular season that were just like pretty ill-advised, but like, I don't know, if they're taking shots, it's kind of a coin flip a lot of the time. And let's say the coin flip kind of goes in their way more often than not. And that kind of winds up being the difference. And if you have a lot more offense, it's just, the score is going to wind up being higher. So that's kind of where I was thinking, but I don't know, Joe, you had kind of a lower scoring affair.
My head was, I guess, kind of similar to you, but in the other direction. I think Minnesota pulls it out because of the defense. And so I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I don't know, Minnesota at home. I mean, regardless of both home and away, Minnesota took the games. And like in terms of the stats, Minnesota played better in both games in like almost every single category. They had fewer turns both home and away. They had more blocks home and away. They had better efficiency home and away. Minnesota also, just like even not against the Alley Cats, just has a really solid defense. Opposing teams have a 44.5% O-line percentage, I guess, which is like less than half of the time the O-line's coming out there, they're scoring. And Minnesota's also only allowing 17.5 points per game. So I don't know. I mean, I don't necessarily think Indy can't win this. I think there's definitely, a way the Alley Cats come out. And like, honestly, I kind of give like the Alley Cats a higher likelihood of winning this than like the Growlers winning against the Shred.
That's interesting.
Because I mean, I think the Alley Cats have the ability to, maybe it's like not a super windy day and they can just like shoot it deep. And like, if they're efficient in that, which they like typically are, maybe they can come out and win just like a slugfest, like just a ton of scoring all around. Like I'd love Indy in a super high scoring game, but that's not really what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. Sam, what you got?
Yeah, pretty much what you guys are saying. It's like if defense takes control of the game, that's good for the wind chill. If it turns into a shootout, that's good for Indy. My only real thought about this is that both of these teams had really good games with Chicago in the regular season. So like either way, I think the central like title game will be very interesting, whether it's Minnesota or Indy. Definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that Indy Chicago game at Indy was really close. And we talked to Pavel like the day after. And he was like, I guess he was saying like we should have lost that game, but like it was like we should have lost that game, but we're way better than that. So we should have beaten them by like a lot more. But like that game actually came down to like that John Jones layout block in the end zone. So yeah, anything can happen with any of these teams, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. I got Indy squeaking it out. We'll see what happens.
I'm rooting for Indy. Go Alley Cats.
I'm rooting for him for sure.
A-tier Cats. A-tier Cats.
Yeah. And I got the hat too. I mean, I can't pick it. I can't like get this hat in the mail and then go picking against them in the playoffs. So
yeah,
you know, I'm ride or die. I've made my bed with the Alley Cats. So
for sure,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I will say I think we all have Indy beating the spread in this as well. So we're unanimous on the spread so far.
Nice.
Yeah, in both games. That's kind of crazy. Except for James. Did you? What was your score again? I don't know if you have Indy covering.
I said 22-17.
Okay. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. James. Bold.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
I like it. All right. Let's get into the final matchup, the Westie offs.
Westie offs.
So we all have the shred.
Sam, you have them by the most.
I have them by the most.
Oh yeah.
But
I thought my pick was hot going with 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I do think the Growlers are good and they're coming into their own a bit. But I don't know. We've just seen the shred like do crazy things to teams at times. So like if they're on, I don't know. I mean, it's been to bad teams usually, but they can score like upwards of 30 like seemingly pretty easily. So
yeah, the shred do have that high powered offense, but you know, I've brought this up in the past couple of pods, but I mean their turnovers are kind of iffy, and I don't know if I still think they're going to crush San Diego, but I mean maybe not crush, but like I don't know if it's going to be by that big of a margin, just if you're giving the other team that many looks, you know. And I think that'll get them by this round, probably just because they've looked better than San Diego in those matchups so far this season. But you know, maybe look for that to come into play, you know, if they have to go on and play the Summit or something after this. But I don't know what you got on this, James.
This is a tough one because Growlers were in a similar position last postseason, kind of the underdogs, and they peaked at the right time to make championship weekend. But that shred offense, though,
they're nasty.
Yeah, I think I have to take the shred by like 2. I'm gonna say like I think it's gonna be similar to that opening game of the season. I'm gonna say like 25-23 shred.
Okay,
I like that.
A lot of shred putting up 25.
Yeah, everyone's doing it.
They are averaging exactly 25 points per game.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the game that I kind of dove into the stats the most. And like I was already kind of vibing with the shred. And then I was like gonna pick them by like 2, maybe 3. And then the stats just like, I don't know, like I was looking at their seasonal stats, right? And everybody talks about the shred's turnovers, but you know, they only have like 1 more turnover per game than the Growlers. And they also produce 1 extra turnover per game than the Growlers. So like, yeah, they're turning the disc over more, but I mean like 1 extra possession isn't, you know, I don't think it's gonna mean like a Growlers win here. And like also kind of similar to Minnesota, the Shred's defense is allowing a 44.3% opposing O-line conversion percentage. So like, again, a lot of times that other teams' O-lines come out there, they're not scoring against the Shred. And so like there's a bunch of these stats. I mean, 25 points per game. They're allowing 19.9 points per game against. Like a lot of them are either slightly.
You're telling me they're averaging winning all the games with 25-20, and that's exactly the score that I picked.
Yeah, it is.
Bet you're feeling real good about yourself now.
Sam. I am.
So like, yeah, a bunch of the seasonal stats lean towards the Shred, but then like what really made me think the Shred were going to win this game were the stats between the two teams and their two matchups, because like the Shred were so much better in both games against the Growlers. Like just in completion percentage and like HUD completion percentage, the Growlers were 1% better in the second game, and that was the only time they were better in any of those. O-line completion percentage in the first game was 69% to 58%, and 50% to 37%. In terms of the turnovers, the Shred had fewer turnovers both times, 15 to 16, and then 24 to 31. Just a ridiculous game where the Growlers had 31 turnovers. But the Shred had more blocks both times. The Growlers had a better D-line conversion percentage in the first game, but then it dropped by like half. It went from 60 down to 36 in the second game. And so the Shred, I don't know, the Shred, like, yeah, they turn the disc over a lot, but they don't really have a lot of volatility. They're kind of like they go out there, they score a ton, and like, even if they turn the disc over a little bit, I don't really think the Growlers are the team that's gonna jump on that. And so I kind of have the Shred winning by a bunch here.
Yeah, I think the one thing that kind of gives me pause is the Growlers did beat the Summit this year, and in that game, they played probably to the best of their ability. I mean, they had a great game, a near perfect game. They took advantage of the Summit's mistakes. If that version of the Growlers comes into Salt Lake, I mean, I see them at least having a closer game. That I think that's just kind of in the back of my mind, and why the score is a little bit closer in my mind. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's hard to pick against the Shred right now. They're a super hot team, but yeah. I guess something I'm wondering with these past two games, James, if you could pick, would you rather be the Alley Cats going into Minnesota, or would you rather be the Growlers going into Salt Lake right now? Because both matchups look tough for those teams. But where's your head on that?
I would Growlers. Definitely
Yeah.
Growlers. Yeah.
Why is that?
Like I said earlier, with my score, they've been getting better and better each season. Like that first game of the year was definitely a trap game for the Growlers. Like, brand new franchise, you have no idea what they're gonna do. But the Shred had however many years of video on the Growlers, and you're probably not changing your systems that drastically, especially year to year, especially after you make the playoffs. So like that first game, I knew like I was expecting the Shred to win, and then Growlers has gotten better and better each game, and I think they're peaking at the right time. Indy had to work a little bit more later to get in than the Growlers, and then just Minnesota.
That's a good point. Indy has kind of backed into the playoffs a little bit. Part of you has to wonder where they're at right now as a team. You know, it's kind of it might be kind of a tough position to be in, to be like, okay, well, we're in, you know, we achieved our goal, but like, you know, we're sitting here 6-6. I mean, I guess it's kind of a similar point where y'all are at, but I feel like you guys are kind of, I don't feel that way about the Phoenix right now, you know? And especially those losses that you guys had were so close. And I'm sure obviously you never want to lose a game. You hope you got that win, but I think you guys could take a lot from those losses that you had this season and be like, okay, we can do this, as opposed to maybe Indy. It kind of seems like, well, some of these teams might be kind of a wall for us right now. So I don't know where their heads are at, but it'll be even sweeter once they pull off the dub, I guess. I don't know.
James, I was also kind of wondering your thoughts on how much home field means during the playoffs, because like obviously during the regular season, not everybody is going. And so you don't always have a full roster during away games, but that's not really the case for the playoffs. So like, does home even mean as much now?
I think it means more, and it depends on the team. I mean,
Okay.
you look at the Shred, and they've been getting massive crowds, like every game. So like, if they're bringing that into the playoffs, they make some big plays. That crowd's going to be relentless. That's going to be a big deal. But like, you look at Phoenix and DC, it's a 2.5-hour drive. That's why we got a party bus of fans going down. So like, we're going to have a decent amount of Philly fans in DC, so that we can hopefully eliminate their crowd advantage a little bit.
The Philly fans were loud at the last one too.
Yeah. So it just depends. The different divisions and the travel just changes it a little bit.
The one thing I will say is I did see that the Shred are playing in a different stadium this time. I don't know if that affects how many people will be there. They still might have a big crowd. And that kind of seems like what's most important, but I don't know. Maybe that change of scenery comes into effect. Maybe that evens things out a little bit for the Growlers. Like, I don't know. Maybe they feel
change of wind.
Yeah, they like maybe the Shred aren't as used to wherever they're at. That could come into play. I don't know. I mean, we got to explore all the possibilities, I guess. But I guess the Growlers will take anything they can get. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much of a factor that would have necessarily. Like, I don't know, neutral site. I'd still be inclined to pick the Shred, but that's just me.
All right. Well, that covers this weekend, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm very excited for Saturday. I don't know how I'm going to get through work tomorrow, but
yeah. Is there anything kind of that y'all will be doing to prepare between today, tomorrow, and Saturday to get ready for your game?
Well, I mean, I'm actually
pasta dinner.
I'm actually about to hop. We're about to hop on our weekly team call to go over lines, matchups, and all that. The game plan for the weekend. Just hitting the gym tomorrow. Took the last day off of camp, so not going to be out baking in the sun tomorrow, which would be nice. And then just being ready for Saturday.
Right on. Well, good luck. I hope you go out there and prove me wrong. It'll be a good game either way, but super excited for it, and definitely good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
I'll see you out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on, James. I mean, I'm sure you got a million better things to do, and we can let you go to your infinitely more important Zoom call. But thanks for stopping by and giving us some of your time. It's been awesome to meet you and get some of your thoughts on the game and your matchups and everything. It's been awesome to talk to you, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Later, man. Well, there you go. James Pollard, everybody. New friend of the pod.
James Pollard.
New friend of the pod. He's been a friend of the pod for a second, though.
He has been. He's been he's been liking our tweets. He's been, it's been a long time coming to have him on, I feel like. But it was cool to have him on. Man, I feel bad about everyone picking against Philly, but maybe it gives him it gives him that poster board material, That's what we're doing.
Go into the team meeting. He's gonna tell everyone. Ringer the 3-1 against them.
Oh man, they're gonna be so pissed. They're gonna go in and win. Oh man.
If they win, I'm like scared to say hi to him after the game.
No, he'll be stoked, I feel like.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
No,
No,
he'll be like,
he'll definitely be stoked.
yeah, he'll be like, suck it, Joe. Like, what's up?
Yeah, that's why I'm scared. That's why I'm
fair.
scared.
Fair. Anything else we got?
I'm excited. I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah, I saw they're handing out rally towels.
Yeah, first 400 fans. I'm gonna get there early.
First 400. Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, when I get back from the game, I'll already be pretty drunk, so I'll hop right on the live stream.
Beautiful.
Nice. I'm worried. I think I gotta like not drink that much because I'll be like unable to control the live stream technology because I've never done it before. So I want to make sure I have my my facilities about me.
Oh yeah. I mean, on the other hand, it's like it's kind of our trial run of doing that type of thing. So,
Yeah, we'll see.
if it
Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it next week too.
Yeah.
We should keep doing this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Championship. Who's gonna be watching us instead of the championship game though?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Well, that's why AUDL should just give us a contract. We should be commentators. We should be their drunk commentating crew.
I would only do it if it was like a Manning cast type of thing where I could just kind of not try as hard. Cause I feel like commentating, it takes so much energy. You have to comment on everything that happens always. You kind of can't take a break. And, I don't know. So when I watch games, like I think I'm ahead. I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun. But like when I'm watching a game, I'm just like, I'm just like, like glazed over, like,
Well, we've got 4 of us. We could do like each person does a quarter and then the other 3 just say random shit during the other person's quarter.
Oh, that's kind of fun, actually.
It could be fun. I don't know if we need to.
It'd be sick to just have 4 color commentators who are all drunk.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the vibe. I mean, we'll see what happens. It could be fun to like try like 5-10 minutes, like try to actually commentate on it. See how it goes.
Well,
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll take turns during the live stream. We have to like study up on their names and like numbers so we can.
Oh my God,
recall them.
You'll have to have the rosters pulled up.
Yeah, the worst.
I'm telling you, it's hard.
I don't know the growlers like at all, but I know a bunch of the shred.
Yeah,
I bet you learn super quick though.
Yeah,
but
especially you got their numbers out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to bring this up when we were talking about shred growlers, but it didn't seem as important because like it's kind of like an insane hypothetical. But like, what if the growlers can shut down Jordan? Like that team is nothing.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I don't want to say nothing, but like second on the team is in assists is Jorgensen, and he's a D-line player. So like that takes away like a huge threat from your offense.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously, if I'm the Growlers, I'm marking that, as my kind of key to being able to get past them. But that's what every team's been doing this year, and they haven't been able to.
I know, which is why I didn't really bring it up because I don't think it's a real hypothetical.
No, I think it's fair. I mean, teams are trying to do that, and I think it's the same thing with James. The Breeze are looking at James Pollard, and they're saying if we can shut James Pollard down, this game's going to be easy. And the Phoenix are saying the same thing. They're saying if James scores 5, then we win, and then whatever happens. But I don't know. How do you stop Jordan Kerr, I guess is the question. Like, do you try to double team him more? Someone's open. He's really good at throwing. He's super long. Like, it's tough. I mean,
oh, he's just so good.
He's really good, for a reason. I guess it's maybe not about shutting him down completely, but just like mitigating what he's able to do. And I think also the Shred they're going to turn it over and they're going to give you chances. And it's about like, what's your D-line conversion, take advantage of those mistakes. And that's how they were able to beat Colorado.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also think like the Shred defense is like not bad at all. And like,
their defense is good.
Even if the Growlers like have a pretty efficient D-line and like come out there and score like, I don't know, they get like 6 breaks on them or something, like 7. I still don't even know if that is better than like what the shred could do also.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. And I mean, that's why we're all picking the shred to win.
Yeah.
But I hope it's a good game. I just hope it's close. I think it will be at least in the beginning. Because I mean, the shred also pulled that bullshit where they like were losing to the spiders and they're losing to the aviators. So like maybe we'll get some fun shit like that. And you know, I hope the game's interesting for the sake of our stream. But
I think it will be.
Yeah. And we'll have Sasha on the call. We should definitely pump that in the socials, let everyone know. Because I feel like who gives a shit about us, but like I'm tuned in to watch Sasha talk about
for real.
Frisbee, especially since he knows the BYU guys and stuff. So
he knows.
That'll be really cool. I know. After this weekend, we might have more friends ready to live stream with us.
Yeah, I would love to like bring on, honestly, like it during the live stream if someone like is in the chat, like not just any rando, but like, you know, if a friend of the pod
at halftime.
Yeah, Jordan
Jordan wants to hop on, give his little 2 cents on the first half.
Oh my God, that'd be so
funny. It's like a halftime interview. It's like legit.
I bet it would be, I think it would be way stepping over the line, but we could be like, hey Jordan, during halftime, call in.
We'll be really
drunk. God, that'd be so funny.
Yeah. I'll let him, just since we have it out there, I'll let him come to us if he's heard us say that.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up. Yeah. All right. Do you know where Ryan went? Did he go on a date?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I hope it's going well.
Yeah.
Well, this has
maybe
been
we'll have him call
open.
in, let us know.
Yeah. And I'm open.
I'm open. Go Alley Cats.